Awesome.
Hello there, this is Ian Medicott with the famous Auto Hub show now in season 6. If you're going to be at NADA in New Orleans later this month, I'll be there live at the Velo booth, booth number 835. I'll be doing interviews at the show, but also at the booth, so feel free to stop by. As mentioned earlier by my guest Arne, I'm going to have new hats and new t-shirts for gratis at the show. So if you are at the show, come by. I have a limited amount of merchandise, but there won't be any cost. So before I get started, really, this show is our one-on-one interview show, which is season 2. Our main show is in season 6, and we're launching a new show for Fixed Ops that'll be live sometime later this month, which will also be a weekly live show. So Arne, Arne, maybe you can tell us a little bit more about you and obviously how you got where you are, what you do, and that's it. So go ahead.
Hey, Ian, thank you for the intro. So, yeah, I'm Arne. Hello, I'm from Germany. And what we do is we help executives, entrepreneurs, CEOs, corporate leaders on a top level to look and feel their best in a sustainable way. So, we make them have fun while they get rid of their gut. So, what we do is we're yeah, there are three main outcomes associated to working with us. So number one is feel better on a day-to-day basis. So having more energy, better focus, better concentration. Number two is perform better on a day-to-day basis. So because you feel less bloated, you have less belly fat, you feel better in your own skin. And number three, which is probably the most important for most of our clients, but also to me, is to live not only a longer life, but also a higher quality of life, because all of your systems, your hormones, everything inside your body is working in synergy together, right? So this is basically what we do. We've been doing it since 2020 internationally. So we started in Germany. We moved to Ottawa now. This is where we live. My wife's from Canada.
Okay.
So yeah, beautiful city. And now we work worldwide, and it's a lot of fun. Growing ever since. Yeah, that's kind of how we got started. Basically, my personal history is I've been overweight myself, and then I've been struggling for years with yo-yo dieting. But then I met my own personal mentors who were natural bodybuilders, and they kind of yeah, put my nose into the facts, because what you learn in the with the mainstream diets is basically all very generic, but you have to dive deeper. You have to really solve the root issues here to the weight gain. It's a but what they were practicing and also what they were preaching was too extreme for my own personal a day-to-day life. And I also didn't want to look that way, like really bulky. I just wanted to look lean and fit and be healthy. So, and my personal challenge was I was in the working in the German beer industry back then. So you can imagine how my life looked like. So I was a sales director for 5 German breweries, and I was basically on the road 24/7, so multiple days per week, waking up in different hotels, and there were always client dinners at night, where obviously good food and good beer was involved. So those were my non-negotiables, and it's just hard to cut them out when you go on a low carb diet or anything like that. That is too extreme. So what we do differently than others is that we yeah, it's basically two things. First of all, we do a deep dive on the root causes. So we look at their always do a comprehensive blood panel in the beginning that
Yeah.
assesses biomarkers that are focusing on their metabolic health, their gut health, their brain health, their heart health, so that we identify what gives us the biggest leverage here. And then we use these biomarkers to optimize them. But then the best plan wouldn't survive your day-to-day life if you don't enjoy actually doing it. So we look at the non-negotiables in our clients' life. So that could be the demands of their family life, their business life, their food preferences, their what restaurants do they go to, how much do they travel, and then we build the solution not only on the biomarkers and on the blood panel, but also on on their non-negotiables in life. And this is why it becomes fun and sustainable. When we don't think in weeks when we come up with a plan, like, oh yeah, we do a 90-day challenge, for example, like what you hear everywhere. We think in decades. So most of our clients are in their 50s and 60s, and they are looking for a long-term solution for like how do they not only increase their lifespan, but really their health span and how to live a more active life.
So
Yeah,
when you're looking at that, so not to say that anyone in the auto industry isn't overweight and high stressed and working all the time, because that's pretty much the stick. But whether you're a road warrior or whether you own dealerships or whether you're running dealerships or working in them, obviously in a lot of cases they're putting in a lot of hours and they're in a high
yeah,
stress job, which in some
exactly.
cases is commission only work.
Yes, yes,
Yeah.
yes.
What has been your exposure to, say, I guess, hard-running executives sort of before and after? Can you give them a thought of sort of what that looks like? What the sort of happiness quotient, health quotient looks like over, say, that 30, 60, 96 month period?
Well, so on average, our clients lose around 4 to 6 pounds per month. So we don't try to be the fastest. We don't try to slow it down unnecessarily, but uh, never at the cost of the sustainability. So at the end, everybody knows how to lose weight, right? So, but the real challenge is in keeping it off afterwards. And in order to keep it off, you really have to work on the inside. You have to adopt the identity of a fit person, basically. But then it looks differently for every person because everybody has their unique challenges. Everybody has their history. Everybody like maybe you have some injuries, right? You cannot do certain exercises, or you don't have access to a gym, and then we have to find a custom solution for that scenario, right? And everybody's family needs to be involved because you're not you don't want to cook 2 different meals. So, it is so different, and obviously it also depends on whether you start with 300 pounds or if you just want to lose those last stubborn 10 20 pounds of body fat that yeah you've built up from over the years from working so much and having those late nights at the office. Um, so yeah, the answer is it looks differently for everybody involved. So it's for me it looked different than it would look for you and for your neighbor as well. So there's no one size fits all solution is what I'm saying to weight
So,
loss. And
so it's kind of like the difference between an off the rack suit, a bespoke suit, and a custom suit. Is that what you're kind of saying? Or?
Exactly. Yes, exactly. So yeah, that's a perfect example. Yes, you have to look at all the details involved, and 80% is between the ears. 80% of the transformation takes place between the ears. Everybody knows what to like, what's good and what's bad, or has at least an idea. You know what I mean? This is what I just said. Everybody knows how to lose weight, but uh, when you really want to do it in a sustainable way, it has to be the made to measure suit for you that kind of fits your life and your preferences and everything like a glove.
So what obviously you work with men, but do you work with ladies as well in this area?
Most of our clients are men because we but to answer your question, yes, we do work with women. So we've had over 3,000 transformations over the last years, and more than 150 one-on-one clients. And out of those 150 one-on-one clients, I would say 30 were women. But it's just happening because our target audience are executives, entrepreneurs, CEOs, and like people with a particular lifestyle, but also with a particular mindset. They know that they have to take responsibility. They know that they have to take action. So we're not working with everybody. We're quite particular with who we work with. It has to be a match from the philosophy wise. Um, and it just happens to be like that more men are on a higher level. then but I'm not discriminating against women at all. Like we love working with women, and we've had great transformations as well with women.
What about working with like a couple where obviously you're making a big change in the man's life and then his wife's interested, or maybe work at them together? Has that ever happened?
Yeah, that has happened before, but it's more likely that one of the two comes to us, and then the partner oftentimes is skeptic because oftentimes it's like this that they've tried many times. They've maybe been burned by scammers or by those like detox teas, or I call them diarrhea teas. But so everybody wasted time and money and energy on things that did not work. So every partner usually is skeptic, right? So when they start something new, but then when they see with their own eyes that, oh, my partner is getting results, and he or she doesn't sacrifice too much, like they enjoy the process, then they oftentimes, what happens is that they just see them as a role model, and they take part. They get inspired by their results, by their transformation, and they say like, okay, well, what are you doing? So they not necessarily work together as a couple with me, but one of them is working with me, and the other, like, it affects the whole household, also the children. Like if the dad is becoming like fit all of a sudden, and they are like, wow, my dad really, like, now he's doing some workouts, he's eating with more awareness, and he just behaves differently. He thinks differently about their body and their health and their fitness. Then it really affects everybody involved, not only the family, but also their clients. They see them with different eyes. Oh, they carry themselves differently. They obviously, if you feel better, you transfer this to all of your environment, your clients, your employees, and obviously your family and your partner. So it affects different areas of your life for sure. Yeah.
Right. So how can someone get more details on, say, some examples of how you help people, or how can they reach out to you, and how does that process work in terms of getting
Yeah.
started? Obviously, at the beginning of a year, so there's probably lots of New Year's resolutions, but how,
Yes.
how did they find out more about you, and how do they get started with the
So
transformation?
a good place to start, probably for many of them, to get started for free, right? Just, not everybody who's listening wants to work with a coach like me. But we wrote a book and this is the book that I wish I had when I started my own transformation. It's called The Fit Executive Blueprint, and your listeners and all of the audience, they can download it for free. It's the website is Fit Executive Co. So if you're seeing this on YouTube, just Fit Executive Co. I probably we will
Be more details below in the
there
description.
will be more details in the show notes, exactly. So this is a good place to start. And then our sales process, if you want to call it that way, just want to be transparent, is we always hop on the phone first, and then it's like an interview. We look at their situation, we look at their goals, see if we are the right people for them to help them with that mission. If not, I try my best to refer them to someone else who is a better fit. And then, but if we do decide this is a good fit that we can probably help them, we always hop on a Zoom call where we then develop a custom step-by-step action plan. And then some people decide to do it themselves, and I'm cheering for them. Like they can take this action plan and run with it. And some people hire us to help them with the implementation and hold them accountable, because they know that it's always good to have a mentor sitting on their shoulder who's done what they are doing themselves. So I've lost more than 50 pounds, and it's good that I can tell them from my own personal experience, because I've made every mistake in the book. But then I also have the experiences from working with hundreds of other people in their position, and then we yeah, go along the way together, hand in hand, over the finish line. So this is the process here. So I can invite your audience to download the book, and there will be links also inviting them for the phone call that we'll do before the Zoom call, and then we'll see how we get along, and if we are a good fit, we can talk about everything. Yes.
So, what's the monthly commitment from someone who works with you? Like, what would they be committing to monthly? Like, how much time would it take in terms of that?
It obviously depends. Like, we have different options for different budgets, and it's also depending on the amount of weight that they want to lose, right? So it's there is no one size fits all solution there. And yeah, but I can definitely give them a range after the phone call because I have to know more about their situation and their goals
Yeah.
first. But as a business owner, like most of our clients, just run it as a business expense. So that's like obviously it helps them to be perform better in their business. So it's just uh, like uh, like a course would be or a book, like something that helps them achieve their goals. They can just run it on their business.
And how long would it take for them to go through that process? Like, obviously, some have more weight to lose than others, but how long would it typically take in terms of you working with that client, or is that something that they continue to work
So
time?
Uh, most of our clients stay with us for over a year because even if they achieve their goal weight, they know that it helps them to maintain it, right? So, and again, we have a core offer that's usually 3 to 6 months, depending again on how much weight you want to lose. But then we have a back end offer that, yeah, if we decide after the initial program that we want to keep working together, that it makes sense, then yeah, there are options to continue with us.
And then how many clients do you work with at a given time? So, how many spaces do you have to work with people, say, on a monthly basis?
Yeah, yeah, you can imagine like when you work so closely with your clients on a one-on-one basis. So they basically have 24/7 access to me. We have weekly progress assessments that they get a personal feedback on. We have one-on-one calls. They have unlimited access to me. So we have to be very selective, first of all, with who we work with. Like we would just want to work with people that we know that we can give them the results that they actually then pay for. Um, and So the limit we put on our client roster for now is 30 clients.
Okay.
Yeah. So
So
we
if
only
there's people who wanted to take advantage, obviously get the details below of how you
yeah.
can reach out to Arnie, and Arnie will be able to help you with your New Year's goals, your health goals, your performance goals, and hopefully, to use an automotive analogy, have you running on 8 cylinders versus two. We know people in automotive are a little bit tightly wound and high performance. So you want more performance. That's the way to do it. Well, thanks very much today for taking the time. Sorry about my voice. I'm getting over a cough here. But I will see everyone in New Orleans later this month. And of course, more details will be below. I'm also going to recommend a few books that I've read recently that helped me with diet. There's actually three: How Not to Die, How Not to Diet, and How Not to Age from a medical doctor that I highly recommend. And I'll link those below as well. But you ideally want to work with someone, whether it's someone like Arnie or a personal trainer, or somebody to help you get there, because motivation sometimes can be challenging for some people, and you want to keep the money. I mean, you want to keep the weight off once you've made that change, and not go back to your McDonald's habit to pick a random restaurant chain. Not that I get money either way from McDonald's. Anyway,
Oh, we
thanks for
do. By the way, Ian, we do have a fast food cheat sheet. So at for all of the most popular fast food chains, there are options. So you don't have to stop eating McDonald's. You just have to make the right choices at McDonald's.
I mean, it's interesting. I radically changed my diet this year. I'm always looking to dial that in.
Yeah.
And I was looking at, I guess it's a veggie sandwich at Subway, I think it is. And I was interested in how they were coming up with these veggie patties, like what the components were. And it was actually kind of interesting because that recipe has changed over the last 4 years based on vegans, which is kind of interesting, just because of
Mhm.
what they put in it. Not that I endorse Subway either, but it was kind of a healthy option. And these books that I've been listening to he has an app which is actually really interesting because it gives you sort of the healthiest 24 things you can eat in a day, and it's like a checklist. And then you, based on that, you make choices. But basically, what he said is exactly what you said, which is you just got to make a better choice. So when presented with these five options, there's always a better option. It may not be ideal, but it's better than the other four.
Yeah, yeah. I want to give you an example here so that they can actually get some practical value out of this. So, for example, if you're at a Italian restaurant, right?
Okay.
You probably don't care that much whether you eat spaghetti or gnocchi, right? But then gnocchi is like it's based on potatoes and the pasta, like no matter spaghetti or penne or whatever you. So pasta is based on wheat, and the gnocchi has half of the amount of calories than the pasta. So you save those calories maybe for a glass of wine or a dessert. And if you then make go ahead and say like, okay, I would have had the pesto, but you wouldn't mind eating the tomato sauce based pasta dish. Then again, this is 1/5 of the calories, right? So uh, when you have spaghetti with pesto, well, or gnocchi with tomato sauce, it's a heck of a difference. But
Absolutely.
no, but just in calories, not in the experience, right? So you have a good experience at this restaurant, but you don't put on the weight afterwards. So this is how we think. We don't try to cut out the fun. We try to provide better alternatives that keep the fun factor high, but that are smarter decisions. Okay, so this is the principle behind it.
Oh yeah, I mean, I agree 100%. I mean, not only is it a healthier decision in a lot of cases, it may also be a cost saving measure because those ingredients or that food you're buying, whether you're at a restaurant or whether you're buying it out or at home cooking at home, may be less money. But the other thing is, and it's really interesting, being that I'm a diabetic, I mean, all those things add up. But more importantly, I have the ability to do the math as I make the decision. So I can look at it and say, okay, if I get this and this is what the carb count is, this is what the impact of my blood sugar would be. And I
Mhm.
can really look at that. So it's more of a math equation. But to your point, you still don't want to eat, I don't know, sunflower seeds all day long. That's probably not a good choice, even though you like them.
Well, if any food, so for us, there are no off-limit foods. And if you go on a diet that obviously, if your body tells you not to eat something, if you feel bloated after certain foods, then it's probably not a good idea to eat them on a regular basis, right? But if your body tolerates the food well, we can always work it in. So I'm having burger night with my wife tonight, and I'm looking forward to that. But I based my other meals around this, right? So yeah, there are also there are solutions for everything and for every taste, but we have the right meals that we can then yeah pull out of our head and put in their toolbox. And once you have your own toolbox, you just know what to do in each situation, and you don't feel like you sacrifice fun for being and looking fit, right? That's a principle behind it.
Well, thanks very much for the time. Sorry for my voice. Hopefully, it'll be better by next week since I got a show on Monday. And have
Yeah,
yourself a great day. Enjoy the burger night. Thanks for
yeah. Thank
the
you. Thanks, Ian. Take care. Bye, everybody.